It's my stand-up show, in case you just follow crowds places. Before I get started, I want to thank Gabe, Greenspan, and Jordan Ascher for opening. You're wonderful people. I wouldn't want anyone else to open for me in the world, except any other two people. I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. This is a crazy thing. You're just coming to hear an hour of my shitty opinions on stuff. So you're going to want to leave at some point. But just keep in mind that this is a small theater, and I can see you. And I don't really turn my back at any point in the show. So I'm going to think you're a dick. I get it if you do it, but I'm going to think you're a dick. I'm wearing a suit tonight. Because I think I'm better than you. No, I don't. I'm a theater major. And being a theater major is kind of like saying I don't go to college. It's like I got in and they were like, congratulations, what do you want to study? And I was like, no thank you. Dancing for credit, please. But for real, like, this is fucking Yale. Like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but all of us could be at least a shitty doctor. And it's a little fucked up that we're not doing that. Like, I'm not saying I could cure cancer, but could I be like, antibiotics? I could do that. Like, if you're pre-med, great job. If you're anything else, you know malaria still exists. Maybe we could put pretend games to the side until we've dealt with the everybody's dying all the time. We live in a fucked up world. This is going to be a really fun show. It's going to be great. We live in a fucked up world. Gay people don't have rights. That sucks. Because, like, gay people they're not even really asking for that much. What are gay people asking for? They want to get married. They want to file their taxes together. They want to visit each other in the hospital. Those are basically the gayest rights we have anyway. And why are we bringing the hammer down on hospital visits? How about anyone can visit anyone in the hospital? How about visits are nice? Like, if I show up with flowers and I'm like, hey, can I give these to that guy? Why is the follow-up question, do you share his blood? In my mind, the hospital is staffed by robots. I don't know, it sucks though. It sucks because gay people don't have rights because there are people who think that being gay is a choice. And being gay is not a choice. It's not. And in fact, the only reason being gay is never a choice is because of the people who say that being gay is a choice. Because they're really being assholes about it. Like, if they were just a little bit cooler with it, honestly, I think a lot more people would rub their dicks together for fun. I think that would happen. Because historically, rubbing my penis against anything has been great. So I see no reason to draw the line at another penis. And just to be clear, that last joke doesn't make me gay, okay? It makes me bi-curious. I've had the same best friend since the 7th grade, and it occurred to me recently that I've never seen his penis. And I can't decide if that's a weird thing or not. Because, like, obviously there's no reason why I should have seen it. And I'm not, like, actively trying to. But I guess I just thought it would have happened by now. Like, I feel kind of like I'm like a 30-year-old woman who's been dating the same guy since college, and he hasn't proposed yet. But he's with me and Richie's penis. Like, I'm not saying I'm not happy with where we are. I don't want to push us into anything that we're not ready for. But we go out, and I see all these people settling down, seeing each other's penises. We're not young forever, you know? I don't know. I'm probably just hungry. Let's just order. We don't have to talk about this now. We'll talk about it when we get home. I love you too. We got a new pope, which is... There's no fucking transition there. So we got a new pope, which is cool, because the last pope was a Nazi. He really was, guys. I'm not making that up. The last pope grew up in Germany, and when he was a kid, he was in the Hitler Youth. I'm not making that up. It's fucking insane, right? And it's even crazier when you think about the fact that we elect the Pope. So we picked that guy. I'm not saying I'm the most devout Catholic in the world, but maybe when we're picking the holiest person, we should start with a baseline of not at all involved in a holiday. It's a thought. Like, the only explanation I can come up with for that is that a bunch of cardinals were sitting around and someone was like, hey, a lot of people are saying that the Catholic Church is really backwards on a lot of issues. And one of them was like, what did they say? Wait till they see the fucking Nazi pope! And we're like, yeah! High five, and then they did some donuts and the Pope-mobile squealed out of the parking lot. I'm not a very devout Catholic, obviously. I don't really go to church anymore. I was raised Catholic and I was raised going to church, but I don't really go to church anymore because I don't really know how I feel about the whole thing. Like, on the one hand, I think believing in God does great things for a lot of people. And who am I to question that, you know? And there are a lot of, like, perks to believing in God. Like, you get really urgent, repressive hand jobs. You get to send people to hell. That's the selling point for me, really. Like, if I'm going to believe in God, it's mostly because of hell. Because I just, like, maybe that's fucked up. Maybe it's fucked up to feel that way. But I feel like if I'm driving, and for 2 miles, there have been signs that say merge left, and everyone has merged into the left lane, and then, out of nowhere, some asshole drives all the way to the front of the line and demands to merge in, I like to know that he's going to burn in a lake of fire forever. That's nice. And my personal God would send you to hell for doing that. The bar is set very high for my God. If you take 3 slices the first pass through at a pizza party, hell. It's 2 slices and you go back if there's extras. Everybody knows that. He knows that. But on the other hand, I just have this really hard time getting behind the whole concept of God. Like, I feel like, you know, like, if God created everything, then he made everything good, but he also made everything bad. So it's kind of, for me, it's kind of like if my dad fed me like a bunch of poison, and he had the antidote, but he wouldn't give it to me until I told him what a great dad he was. And ideally, I could get other kids to tell him regardless of their original father. Like, I want the antidote, yes, but I'm a little hung up on the poison thing. Yeah. They had to make a law that says you can't have sex with kids. Like, just think about that for a second. They had to make that a law. Like, they had to be like, hey, Marty, you gotta stop fucking those kids. It's a law now. Just stop. Jesus. I don't mean to make light of pedophilia. I think pedophilia is terrible. I think the innocence of children is pretty much all we have left. I don't think we're harsh enough on pedophiles. I don't think we handle it right. I'll say that. I think what we should do is if you have sex with a kid, we should put you in a room, and we should build a robot that is proportionally larger than you as you are to the child. And we should have that robot just rape you a bunch. It would be a super effective system until we wound up with no pedophiles and a bunch of giant rape robots. I came up with that joke during a conversation with my mom. And she was the one who was like, you know, I don't know if that's very practical, right? And she had no moral qualms with giant rape robots. She was totally on board for that part. She was just like, let's think about implementation. Gun control's a big issue. It's complicated, 30,000 people died in 2012 from gun violence. But the Second Amendment says we have the right to bear arms. That's a complicated issue. That's not my problem with the Second Amendment. My problem with the Second Amendment is that it doesn't say shit about cannons. It doesn't say shit about it. If you think about it, when they wrote the Constitution, guns were not the most dangerous thing in the world. A Revolutionary War gun takes 45 minutes to load, and it shoots a bullet at 10 miles an hour. If they made Revolutionary War guns today, they could market them to children 8 and up, and it would be fine. But a cannon can blow up a fucking castle. And the Constitution says absolutely nothing. Which is insane. If I was writing the Constitution, the first words of the Constitution would be, obviously no one can have cannons. Those things are fucking crazy. Moving on, freedom of speech. The cannons aren't the most dangerous thing in the world anymore. The world is changing. The most dangerous thing in the world now is drones. If you don't know what a drone is, it's a remote-controlled airplane that can apparently kill you anywhere, anytime, ever. Which is horrifying. But it's okay, because we just use drones on the bad guys. You know, like, the bad guys. Like the people we decide are the bad guys. Like, we use them on the bad guys. Like the people who we decide with, like, no trial or due process are the bad guys. Like the bad guys. Like the people who like, believe different things than us. Like the bad guys. Like the people who maybe, like, question us as a leader in a region where we've supported despots and dictators for years. The bad guys. But drones are pretty controversial. People are up in arms about drones. And it's like, every time it's reported on, it's like, Obama droned 6 people. And like, okay, obviously that's a little slanted. Obama is not the one droning people. He has people to do that. But I kind of feel like if he wanted to, he's earned it. Like, he wakes up every morning and gets compared to Hitler. Adolf Hitler. All day. All day, every day. He tried to pass a law. He passed a law that said maybe when people are sick we should give them medicine. And everybody lost their fucking shit. So I think we should give him a couple atrocities. Is that so much to ask? At this point, do you think Obama gives any kind of a shit about Sasha and Malia? I'm not saying he doesn't love them, but he's the president of the goddamn United States. So maybe he doesn't have time to ask what a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old did at school today. Are we not on board with this? He's the president of the United States. He's got bigger things on his plate. Parts of Detroit are shut down and overrun by wolves. That is a real fucking thing that is happening right now. I would be pretty pissed off if he even asks how their day was. Like, Rebecca likes Trevor, but Trevor dated Emily last summer, and so it's really complicated because Rebecca and Emily are really good friends. Like, Barack Obama does not give a shit about that. What's that, Malia? You read Tuck Everlasting for school? China owns us now. How about the next thing you read could maybe be a fucking newspaper? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have sworn. Daddy's gonna go to his drone room. Just finish up dinner on your own. Where the fuck am I? I was talking to a friend the other day. It's funny. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was like, "You want to know something disturbing? Take your birthday and subtract 9 months." He was like, "For me, it's my dad's birthday." I was like, "That's gross." So I did it for me, and it's not my dad's birthday, and it's not my mom's birthday. So I was like, cool, I'm in the clear, but no. My birthday is exactly 9 months after St. Patrick's Day. So I think we know what happened. My parents were cursed by a leprechaun. He'll have red hair and he'll never get a real job. My parents were really young when they had me. They were in college. My dad was a senior and my mom was a junior. Which lets me know 2 things right off the bat. First off, I probably got about 2 solid weeks of fetal alcohol. And second, I'm definitely an accident. But like, if I'm not an accident, they're terrible at planning. Like, if I'm not an accident, that means they looked at like 2 college kids in a relationship and they were like, let's throw a baby into this. Let's just see where it goes. My mom doesn't like when I say I'm an accident. My mom's in the audience right now. I guarantee she didn't laugh at that joke. She doesn't like when I say that I'm an accident because I am an unexpected miracle. No, but I think it's amazing what my parents did. You know, like they were like my age. Like now that I am this age, it's unreal to me because I am not ready to have a child. I'm not ready to babysit a child. Like if I was babysitting a child tonight, I would be very uncomfortable. You would have to leave me a lot of phone numbers. I would call you a lot. I'd be like, can I make the kids mac and cheese? You'd be like, yes, you can make the kids mac and cheese. I'd be like, how do you turn the stove on? I shouldn't be having a baby. At this point, I'm ready for like a dog level of responsibility. Because like a dog is a fantastic thing. Like a dog, you need to give it water, and that's it. Have to give a dog food. A dog can eat garbage and it'll be fine. That's a great deal. I can do that. But I can't do a baby because babies are so complicated. Babies, like, okay, people don't like when I bring up the fact that babies die sometimes. I totally get that, but hear me out. Babies are really fucking bad at not dying. They just are. It's fucked up. Like you can't, like when you have a baby, you can't ever let it sleep on its back, or it'll die. It'll just die. Like if you touch a baby here, it's fine. If you touch a baby here, instantly dead. There's a disease, this is a real thing. It's 2014, sometimes babies just die for no reason. And we have no clue why. And doctors are just like, I don't know, watch out for it. It's fucking crazy. Human babies suck. Animal babies are fucking fantastic. I saw a YouTube video of a giraffe giving birth. And let's not get caught up in why. I'm watching a video of a giraffe giving birth. I have a lot of free time. So I was watching this video of a giraffe giving birth. And a giraffe doesn't give birth like a person. Like a giraffe doesn't even lay down. A giraffe mother just like fucking plants. And then just drops the baby. And it's standing still, and it's a giraffe. So it's not close to the ground or anything. It's just the mother like plants, and then the baby's like. But that's not the amazing part about giraffe babies. The amazing part about giraffe babies is that like 30 seconds later, it's like, all right, here we go. And it walks away. It was born 30 seconds ago. And it's like, guess I'm alive now. That's fucking amazing. Human babies can't take care of themselves till they're like 35 years old. Giraffe baby has been on the earth for 45 seconds, and it's like not even a baby giraffe anymore. It's just like a giraffe. doesn't even give a shit. I don't know. I can't have a baby. I can't have a baby also because you can't just raise a baby. Like, you can't just have a baby and be like, I'm gonna pay attention to this thing and it'll be fine. You can't. You need like a lot of shit to raise a baby. Like, my aunt just had a baby and I was over at her house and there were all these like gadgets. Like, there's like, diapers aren't a gadget. I understand what a diaper is and how it works. It's like a napkin around the baby. Maybe I don't get how it works. She had like a little thing to like warm up water so the water wouldn't be too cold on the baby ever. And she had this thing and I picked it up and it was like it's like a little like rubber ball and it came to like a point and you could like squeeze it and I was like, what is this for? And she was like, oh, that's for when the baby has snot in its nose, you put that in its nose and you can suck the snot out. And I was like, that's a thing I have to do. Really. Let's go back to the giraffe for a second. It was born. Inside of a minute, it walked away. Human baby can't deal with the shit inside its own nose. So I guess I'm never gonna have a baby. That's fucking disgusting. I don't want to have a baby, but I really don't want to have a kid. Because a kid, like once it becomes a child, it like has like thoughts. And it can make decisions, which is a whole other can of worms. Like when I was like, here's why I don't want to have a kid. When I was 4 years old, my mother made me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Because that is my favorite kind of sandwich, and she's a nice person. What I did with the sandwich was I put the entire thing into my mouth, and I proceeded to do nothing. I didn't chew it, I didn't swallow it, and I would not spit it out for 4 hours. And my mom started to like freak the fuck out because she thought I was gonna die from a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She was like, shit, he's gonna choke to death. Are people even gonna be sad about that? Or is it just gonna be like interesting? And then they'll move on. She called my grandma. She was like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. You want to chew the sandwich? My grandma was like, how long has it been in his mouth? And I was like, I don't know, but he's drooling peanut butter. Starting to get really freaked out. She's like, Ryan, please swallow the sandwich. Or spit it out, whatever. I don't even really, just Ryan, you can speak now. You will die if you don't swallow the sandwich. And to that, I responded. Like, I don't really feel like it. Because that's just what kids do. Kids are fucking insane. I really should not have a child. I don't know. I'm in kind of a sweet spot in my life right now where I'm not a kid anymore, but I'm not a grown man yet. And that's important to me because grown men, in my experience, just kind of go around ruining people's days. Like if a grown man walks into a room that I'm in, I'm just gonna be a little bit uncomfortable until he leaves. Let me put it this way. If that door started to open, and none of us in this room could see who is on the other side of the door, literally none of us would be hoping that it's a grown man. Some of us might be hoping it's a cute guy. That's a different thing. A cute guy brings you flowers, and he calls you on your birthday or something. I don't have a really good explanation of what a cute guy is. I think there's more to it than that. But a grown man doesn't do those things. A grown man can do two things. He can grow pubic hair, and he can murder. That's what men do. They just murder people. Men are responsible for like 90% of murders. If we're rounding 100%. It's like all us. It's gotten to the point where, like, if I see that a woman murdered someone, a little part of me is like, you go, girl. But it's terrible. Grown men are terrible. Grown men are even worse when they drink. Drinking is terrible. Grown men when it's drinking. Now I got it. A drunk man is worse than a regular grown man. It is my opinion that anytime a woman has sex with a drunk man, she's making a catastrophic mistake. And I don't mean morally, I mean in her own interests. Because drunk men are such clumsy, horrible creatures that they can barely bat around their own situation until something happens. But they cannot deal with the Rubik's Cube it is female sexuality. They just cannot. It's like playing a one-man band. George Ascher, ladies. I've never had sex with a drunk man. But I've been a drunk man having sex. And even during, I was thinking, this can't be going on. I don't know, I can't really handle alcohol very well. I'm not a good drinker. Like, I thought as I got older, I'd become like a good drinker at some point, but I never did. Like, it's still, like, I get like 2.5 drinks in, and every time I start a diary. I just think the world needs to know what's going on inside of me. I can't express it verbally, I'll express it to you. Diary. And it would be a diary, too. Hemingway kept a journal. If you write it in glitter gel pen, it's a diary. But drinking as a whole is crazy. Like, think about, like, if someone did alcohol to you. Like, if someone gave you a drug that made it hard to walk around or talk, and you threw up on yourself, and you blacked out, and when you woke up the next morning, you didn't remember anything, that person would go to jail. Forever. And giant rape robots. Rightly so. Because drinking is fucking insane. God damn it, I don't know. It's fine. I can move on now. I've been dealing with some shit recently, and not like real shit, but like the kind of shit you can have when all your grandparents are still alive. Like, it's not really important, but it's just, you know, it's just like okay, like I was not single for a long time, and now I'm single again. And that is a weird thing. And it's, you know, it's like a weird thing to navigate. Like, I've had to start going to toads again. Which is not good for anybody. Like, I'm not a person who can do toads. Like, there's no, like, also, toads is like, it's called like a dance club, but there's no dancing that happens at toads. What happens at toads is that a man goes up to a woman and he's like, I couldn't help but notice that you didn't have a penis on your butt. I was wondering if maybe I could offer my penis. And you put it on your butt, and then you can just see where the night goes from there. But none of that is actually said. Obviously, you've been to toads. None of that is said. It's just like a man goes up and he just goes like. But toads is not good to go to as a dude. Like, you can't go to, no man has ever gone to toads. No man that looks like me has ever gone to toads and picked up a woman. That's never happened. You go with someone, because if you go just as like a guy, then what happens is you don't grind on women. Women grind on men who then grind on you. Because their butts have to go somewhere. I don't know if you guys have seen grinding, because like the woman. She's here. And she's doing this thing. And then the guy is back here. And he's. I remember him. And then I am here. And he's here. Because that's just how she's pushing back his butt towards into me. I don't like toads. People get really feisty at toads. I've been in two almost fights at toads. I say almost fights because I'm a little bitch. The first time I almost got into a fight at toads, this guy, I was just at Toads, I was just doing Toads stuff, and this guy came up to me and he just shoved me. And I was like, hello. What is going on? And he's like, hey, fuck you, man. And his friend comes up and he goes, wait, that's not the guy. And then they left. Which was good, because I didn't get into a fight. But it was more just interesting, like, what guy that looks like me is going around Toads and being an asshole? I just want to meet him. The other almost fight I got in was, I was with Gabe Greenspan. We were at Toads. Yeah, you know him. He was here. Talked about boobs and women a lot. So we went to Toads, and we were just kind of doing the going around Toads thing. They were mad. They were. And all of a sudden, this guy comes up and shoves me. Apparently I'm very shoved. Like, I look like a guy where I could push him and it would be fine. But this guy shoves me and then he shoves Gabe too. And he's like, what the fuck are you guys gonna do? He's like a drunk dickwad. And he's like, what the fuck are you guys gonna do? And Gabe, being a responsible person, is like, hey man, let's just calm down. You don't have to start anything. We're gonna go over here, you have a good night. And he starts to walk away. And I walk away with Gabe, but me being an irresponsible person, I turn back and go, which was not a good idea. The guy gets very upset and he's like, "Did you just flip me off?" And a part of me wanted to just leave and just go on with my night. But there was another part of me that was like, somebody needs to teach this guy about treating people right. So he's like, "Did you just flip me off?" And I turn around and I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And then all of a sudden I noticed that there are like 2 other guys with him that definitely weren't there when I flipped him off and walked away. So now he's got 3 guys, and they're all very angry. And they're like, "Did he just flip you off?" He's like, "Yeah, he flipped me off." And they're like, "Oh, you guys are gonna fucking die. You're going down." So all of a sudden, there's a fight that's gonna happen. And Gabe, to his credit, comes back and he gives me a look like, "We got this, dude." And I give him a look like, "No, you don't." Because one of us is me. So unless you're taking 2.5 of these guys, this is not gonna go well. But Gabe's there, he's ready to go. These guys are fucking mad because I flipped them off. And there's a fight that's gonna happen when all of a sudden this giant, I can only describe him as an angel. This man, he's like 6'7". He just comes in and he just separates both sides. And he turns to the drunk guy and he goes, "Hey, be cool." And if you're 6'7", people just listen to you. And he turns back to Gabe and I and he's like, "Sorry about my friend. He's an asshole." And we were like, "Good enough." I did not fight those guys. I'm like a little baby man. I know this for a lot of reasons, but for this story, I know this because I was in my room one night and I heard a mouse. I was going to sleep, it was late at night, and I'm laying in my bed, and all of a sudden from under like my dresser, in like that corner of the room, I just hear like I'm like, shit. There's a mouse in the room. Let me be clear. It was more like, oh shit! There's a mouse in the room! I'm gonna die! Very scared. So, I go to the end of my bed, and I lean over and I turn my lights on, thinking that this will scare the mouse away. And it stops the mouse for about 2 seconds. The mouse pauses, and he's like, "The lights are on." So I'm like, shit, that didn't work. I gotta do something. I pick up something off my floor, and I throw it at the dresser. This stops the mouse for a little bit longer. The mouse stops for like 5 seconds, and then it's like, I don't give a shit. So I'm like, fuck. I'm a 21-year-old man. I'm 22, but this was in the past. I'm a 21-year-old man. I can deal with this. So I get out of bed, and I put on my shoes, and I stand on a chair, and I push my dresser out, thinking that if I expose this mouse, it will leave my room. I push the dresser out, but the mouse is smarter than I am, and it's like, this is a big dresser, this is not that hard to stay underneath the dresser as you push it. foiled any plans. So at this point, I'm out of options until I see that I have some Cheez-Its under my bed. And this is what I do. I crinkle the Cheez-It crumbs in a line between my dresser and the door. And then I went to sleep. I put in headphones so I couldn't hear the mouse. And I went to sleep. They were gone in the morning. It worked. I'm a fucking genius. But the thing was, I only had enough Cheez-It crumbs to make it to my door, not like out of our suite. So I just brought it into the common room, and presumably it's still there. Presumably it's alive today, but I just never told my roommate. I woke up in the morning and I was like, I'm gonna take this to my grave. That's what I'm gonna do. I have red hair. I have red hair, and that's weird because like people touch it a lot. People think it's okay to just touch it sometimes, and not actually people in general. Middle-aged women think it's totally fine to just come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Just touch my head. They think it's fine, and it's not fine. Because it's not. You just touch people's heads. But it's better than a lot of what I get, which is just that there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate in the world. And I don't get all of it. I'm not gonna say that I do. But I get some of it. I was getting my hair cut one day, and the guy who was cutting my hair literally said to me, I've never seen that color hair on a man. I don't like haircuts at all. Because when I was a kid, I had a really bad experience with one, where I was like 8 years old, and I was getting my hair cut at Fantastic Sam's. Fantastic Sam's is like great clips. It's not just a cool guy's house. I was getting my hair cut. I was in the chair. My mom was sitting over by the door, and they're cutting my hair, and all of a sudden the person who's cutting my hair like stops, and she like starts like really looking at my head. She's like, whoa. She like parts my hair in weird places, and she's like, Betty, come over here. And Betty comes over, and they're both like looking at my head a lot. And the lady cutting my hair turns to Betty, and she's like, that looks like ringworm to me. If you don't know what ringworm is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a worm that burrows into your head and lives there. I was 8 years old. I know, right? I was 8 years old, so I didn't know that that's actually what it was. It is. But I assumed that. And I started weeping. Mom sees that what should have just been a haircut has devolved into me weeping. With twice as many adults as there should be. And she comes over and she's like, what's going on? And the lady's like, ma'am, I don't know how to tell you this, but your son has ringworm. Look at this. And she shows it on my head, and my mom goes, no, he just has moles all over his head. Cool, I don't have ringworm, but now I know that that's just what my head looks like. Forever. Like I just have to live with that knowledge. I don't know how many of you are porn aficionados, so I'll assume 100%. But something that I think is interesting about porn nowadays is that there's a lot of categories to it. Like it's not, you don't just type in like porn and then like you get some porn and then you go on and do your stuff. And like go and there's like categories, which is interesting to me because it's like, that's great, but it's not that delicate of a system. Like pretty much any penis in any vagina, please. Or if you're all out of that, 2 vaginas is completely fine. Or if you're all out of that, 2 penises is also fine. I just won't tell anyone about it. Do you ever think that when we poop, afterwards, maybe wiping shouldn't be the only step? Like just sanitation-wise. Like it's a good first step. Sure. But like I don't understand why it's like no visible poop. Trying to go interact with society. Like if you took a shit on my kitchen table, I don't care how many times you go over it with a paper towel. That's not a clean table. I'm not going to eat off of that. It's disgusting. I like dreams. We've just abandoned any connection. It's porn, it's poop, it's dreams now. I like dreams because dreams reveal a lot about you. But sometimes I don't like dreams because sometimes I don't like what my dreams reveal about me. Like, this is a real dream that I had. I had a dream that I took the Underground Railroad from my summer job. Which reveals that I'm an asshole. Good about it. I woke up and I was like, what the fuck, Ryan? My brain literally equated slavery with my voluntary minimum wage job. They paid me to go to that, and then I went home, and my brain was like, oh, that's the same thing as when we did slavery. And I remember the dream, too. I was like, at the cashier, and then I walked to the back of the store, and then I was in a field. And I was walking through this field, and I saw a cottage up ahead, and I had a blanket and a lantern. And I was like, thank God. Thank God I made it out. I'm gonna be a free man. I won't have to work at Toys R Us anymore. Obviously, I can't handle the stresses of slavery. But apparently, I can't handle them for a 5-hour shift. I had another dream where I was on a plane and Tom Cruise sat down next to me. And I played it cool. And that was the whole dream. Like, this is a dream. Literally anything could have happened. We could have been on a tandem bicycle in Central Park. We could have done Top Gun 2. We could literally, I can list more things, but literally anything could have happened. That's how dreams work. And my brain was like, no, I bet he gets that all the time. And then you just sit here and you're really cool about it. Maybe he'll think, I should be friends with this guy. And then we rode out an entire plane ride, and we landed, and we weren't friends, and we got off the plane. And that was the whole dream. Which is just so disappointing to me. Like, I could have done so much better than that. I don't like art museums because I don't like pretending that there aren't boobs everywhere? Because there are. Our museums are so full of boobs. It's ridiculous. But you can't talk about it. And art museum boobs are really in your face about being boobs. It's never like, here's a painting of a river, and like, oh, in the background there's like, oh, there's some boobs in that. It's never the case. It's like, there's a naked angel just flying boobs first. She doesn't even have wings, she just has piles of boobs coming out of her back. And you're supposed to look at that and be like, oh, the brushstrokes are fantastic. I really get what he's trying to say with the piles of breasts. I don't like that. I don't like playing the game. I'm not a good liar. I panic when I lie. Like, 2 summers ago, I had a summer job. And it was the last day of work, and I didn't want to go. Because I was going back to school in a couple days, and I decided, like, you know what, I want to see some friends, I want to hang out with my family, I got a pack still, like, I'm just not going to go into work today. I don't want to go into work. So I start dialing to call into work. But as I'm dialing, I start thinking about it, and I realize, hold up, they know it's my last day too. And they also know that I'm a lazy sack of shit. So they're never gonna believe that I just happened to get sick on my last day of work. But I'm already dialing the phone. So I have to think of something new, and I'm panicking, and they pick up the phone, and they're like, hi, this is Six Flags, who is this? And I'm like, hi, I'm just running about, I can't come into work today. And they're like, why? And I was like, this is what I actually said. There's been a fire. Which is way too big of a lie for not going into work. The lady on the other end was like, oh my God, are you okay? Like in her mind, my whole family is dead. And I'm calling from an ambulance. So I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? I gotta walk this back. So I'm like, no, it's fine. But it can't be fine, because I still really don't want to go into work. So I followed that up with, it's fine. We just lost a lot of photographs and heirlooms. And like, half of that I'd like to give myself credit for. People do lose photographs in fires. That's a real thing that happens. But heirlooms? What am I, the fucking Lindbergh? When did this fire happen? So she's like, okay, I'll take you off the schedule. And she goes, and I feel bad because I'm lying to her profusely. And she feels bad because my whole family's dead. And she comes back and she's like, Ryan, I checked. You're not even on the schedule for today. So I'm an idiot. And I worked there again the next summer, and I met that lady, and I would just like to say, she didn't say shit to me about the fire. I know it's not a real fire, but she does not know that. And it's pretty fucked up that she didn't even mention, like, how's the family doing? Have you recovered? She's an asshole. Right, that's what I